Yo, it's Trent. Hope everyone's having a good day, good week so far. And we got 5 things I wish people told me about relationships, right? When I was younger, because no one told me anything about it. I only saw movies and rap videos, right? And that was kind of my thinking. At first, it was like growing up, it was kind of, I was always wondering, why wouldn't you want to marry someone? Why wouldn't you want to fall in love, right? I knew nothing negative about it. And don't get me wrong, I saw like little arguments and big arguments and fights and things like that between people together, but it never really occurred to me, right? I always knew people argued, so I never really knew the downsides of dating and stuff. And it's not like this is all negativity video. These are just things I wish I knew before, right? Before that one big relationship. I just wish someone would have told me these things one day. So if you're in a relationship or you might be in one soon or you're just sitting there alone, either way, this video could be useful. So, also, why am I making this? Well, last night, right? I haven't thought about this girl in a long time. I'm sitting there last night and it just hit me. It just hit me. And I was like, you know what? Instead of, complaining on a video, instead of being like, man, I feel sad, I was like, let me try to help somebody, right? So, 5 things I wish I knew. Number one, waiting doesn't work, right? Either way, girl or guy, if you're in a situation where you're saying to the other person, hey, I'll wait for you, that never works, dude. Whether it's someone that you've wanted to be with for a long, long time or someone that you just met that's in a complicated situation, either way, you can't make them wait for you, or you can't wait for them. Either way, though, because let me tell you why. It's unfair for you and them, right? Because they're sitting there and you don't know what's going on with them. Maybe they told you, maybe they didn't. Even if they did tell you, it might not be the full story. But let's say they just got out of a relationship or they had something similar a little bit ago, right? And it impacted them. They're sad, right? They're only thinking about that person and they're thinking about themselves probably, but they're more thinking about what they missed out on. So it's unfair for you to try to come in and create a new thing, having a neutral mind. You're not sad, so you're like, hey, I want to try to be happy with this person, but this person's thinking I wanted to be happy with that person. So now when they come to you, I mean, there's no way that works. There's only so many things that could happen, Either you try to put in all this effort and they don't put it back, that's sad. That'll end things. Or you help them, make them feel better, but then they diminish all the love, all the energy from you. Now they feel better, but now you feel diminished, right? Because they took all the love in, but they couldn't give anything back because they were sad. So now you're sad, right? So you shouldn't wait for anybody, right? Especially when there's so many people out there. When you go, I'll wait for you, right? And I used to say that back in middle school and stuff. Trust me, I said things like that. I get it, but don't do that, right? Number two, you can't make someone love you. Now, I know you've heard that a lot of places. Probably heard it in like 3 movies in your life, right? I know I have. You can't make someone love you. But what does that even mean, right? That means just because you've been in love with someone, whether you're dating or not, doesn't mean it's going to work out, right? And to go farther into that, right? That's kind of what happened to me, but I won't throw the girl under the bus like that, but it happens to a lot of people, right? You could already be dating, right? You could be dating for like 5, 6 months. You could be dating a year. You could be dating any amount of time, right? And you might be fully in love with them, but you'll know. You'll know if they don't love you back, right? You feel it. There's just this gut feeling, and you're thinking about it constantly when you're not with them. But you notice things when you are with them too. Like maybe you're thinking, hey, I would do this for you, right? Whatever the scenario is. Like just an example, a crazy thing I did when I was in love with someone, right? I just to hang out with them for a little bit after work. I sat at their work, right? I knew they got off at like 8 and they said it was okay. I wasn't just being a weirdo, right? I made sure it was cool. I sat there for like an hour and a half, 2 hours till the end of this person's shift just to hang out for like 15 minutes rather than being at home and not see them at all, right? Then you think, hey, would they do these things for me? So that's what I mean, right? If someone's not doing the same things as you or wouldn't, I'm not saying necessarily it's not going to work out. I'm just saying you notice when you're like, hey, I would do this for someone, but they wouldn't do it for me. And that's what I kind of mean. If you're noticing these things and you've been trying, right? Like you've been trying dates or hanging out and you never feel that same like love energy back, that's when you have to tell yourself, I can't make them love me. It's not going to work, right? It also will create fights because you're making the other person feel bad, right? And maybe you think it's deserved, maybe not. I'm not saying it's deserved or not, right? But you're making them feel bad, and they can't choose who they love, right? I mean, maybe you can choose a little bit, but your body tells you, right? So it's not their fault necessarily, but I get how it feels shitty on either end. Number 3, afterwards. Now, this is a big one. I wish someone told me. I heard it in a quote a little bit later, like half a year later, but I wish I knew this before I was even in a relationship, because it would have helped afterwards, right? So this one's more so if you, not if you get dumped, but just things ended and you didn't want to, right? Number 3, you only remember the good times, and no one tells you that, but it's 100% true. Like last night when I'm sitting there thinking about this girl I'm sad, I thought only about the things I was missing at that moment, right? Like the cuddling and watching movies, car rides, giggling, like kissing, things like that, right? But you never ever think about the arguments or like comments being said, or maybe whatever it is, right? Like a scenario that happened to me, you get introduced as like I didn't get introduced as a boyfriend, I got introduced as a friend. Do you know how bad that feels? Like things like that, right? Like but you don't remember that afterwards like I just did then. But when you're sad missing a person, you never think about the bad times. So next time you're sitting there thinking you missed out on the perfect person, just think about the times that made you not feel good, right? Maybe they left you unopened, or maybe they just went out when you were like, hey, we were supposed to hang out, or anything, right? It could be anything, but you only remember the good times. Just try not to, right? Because it's not only about that. But that is something I wish someone told me, because for months I was like only thinking about good things, good things, good things, and then someone, or I can't remember if someone told me or if I saw a quote, but it just clicked like that. It was like, oh, they're right. There are bad times. There are times when it did not feel good. You're right. Okay. So number 4, that crazy gut feeling, right? That's what feeling like falling in love is like, right? Or being in love. There's this weird feeling. You have this feeling, right? This mentality that I would do absolutely anything to be with them, and I'd go anywhere. I'd like, maybe you don't want to go to school, you'd go to school for them. Like I'm not a big fan of work, right? But I would have worked any job for this girl. Like, it's crazy, right? Maybe there's a state you absolutely would not visit. Maybe you're terrified of planes, but you'd get on a plane for them. Like, that's what I mean. Because I've talked to people recently and a long time ago that they overuse the word love a lot, right? They're like, oh, I've been in love a lot, or I've been heartbroken a lot. And I always find that to be bullshit, because if you've truly been through it, you don't want that to keep happening, because it sucks, dude. It's like, I know everybody's experience is different, but for me, it was like, it's still happening. So you could say years of being sad about it, or being not necessarily sad, but feeling defeated from the relationship, right? So it's like, if you're really wondering what the love feeling is, it's like you feel it in your chest, dude. You feel it like right around here. I don't even know how to explain it. It's like, it feels like a sickness, but it's good. It's like you're sitting there and you're like, oh, I just want to be with this person no matter what, do anything with them, okay? And number 5, the last thing I wish somebody would told me about relationships, to make it work, both sides have to have no ego, right? And if you're wondering what that means, because I know that sounds a little random, if you're a younger person, maybe you don't even know what ego is, right? But it's like a thing where, let me just give you an example story, right? This never happened, but I'm just trying to think of like how I can explain how you can't have an ego with someone, right? Let's say 2 people are talking, right? And like they love each other, or we're talking about you love this person, right? Or you like them or whatever, right? Let's say that you texted them at like 1 p.m., right? And they don't get back to you till like 3. And you're feeling a little pissed off about that. You're like, hey, I would have answered you right away. Why didn't you answer me, right? So then you're salty about it. And I'm not saying you're immediately like a dick or questioning them, but you keep it in mind. You're salty about it, right? Like, oh, why did they not answer me for so long? So maybe you're going to hang out with them later, and then you bring it up, and then that starts like an argument, right? When you're hanging out. When if you would have just ignored that, if you would have let your ego go, like, why didn't they answer me? If you just let that go, nothing would have happened, right? Now, what I'm saying is, if both sides don't care, like, I'm saying they love themselves, but if they don't care about their own personal things, like if they're willing to make it work together and both sides are on that, that's the only way the relationship's gonna work. But if one person is too worried about themselves, you know, they care how they feel, they care how the decisions impact them and not us, things aren't gonna work out. And I wish I knew that before, right? Because there's certain people that you'll sense like they're only worried about their path in life. They know what they want to do, and you're not a part of that plan. And it sucks when they're talking about it, or if something gets brought up where they're like, hey, in a couple years or whatever, and you're not part of that plan. So keep that in mind. If you want to have a real relationship, make things work, you can't have an ego about it. So anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you want early access to videos, special shorts, and being a part of polls, you could become a member today. Just click the join button. But anyways, thanks for watching again. And if you ever need anything, you comment. I do my best to answer. You're going through something, need someone to talk to, just text me. Or not text me, what am I saying? DM me, my Instagram, same name as my YouTube, Fit699, or it's linked in the About Me. Go in there, DM me. I'll get back to you within a day or two. Text me, DM me, all right? So thanks for watching. Be safe and peace out.